Today I'm taking a look at the NEEWER FL10, a compact creative light designed to add colours, patterns and interesting effects to your photos and videos. So NEEWER did send me this light to test, but I'll be giving you my honest opinion and I'll be showing you exactly what it can do, along with a couple of things that I think could be improved as well when it comes to this. Now, at the time of making this video, the product is around £41 on Amazon, and I will leave a link in the description below so you can check the latest price and availability out in your region. Now, the FL10 isn't designed to replace your main key light, for example, one of these lights here, or illuminate an entire room. That's not what it's made for. Instead, it's an effect light. Basically, it can be used to add patterns, colours, atmosphere to a background, product, portrait, or even a video scene. Now, it's got a 10-watt output with a maximum stated brightness of 1620 lux, and that's from ½ a meter when using the yellow/orange light. Now, for something this compact, it produces a surprisingly visible effect. Now, particularly in a darker room or a controlled studio environment. However, if you're using it in a very bright room or you're trying to compete with strong daylight, for example, the patterns are becoming, much harder to see, which is pretty obvious when it comes to light. Now, the FL10 has 4 built-in light colors. These are warm white, orange/yellow, ice blue and red, and you can quickly switch between the 4 colors by pressing the control button on the back of the light. Now, it isn't just a fully adjustable RGB light, so if that's what you're expecting, don't be shocked when you get this, because you can't choose any color you want from a color wheel. However, the 4 included colors still give you a useful selection of warm and cool options for backgrounds, portraits and even product shots as well. So the brightness can be adjusted from 1% all the way up to 100%. And this is useful because you don't always want the projected pattern to be the brightest part of your image. Now, you can lower the brightness to create a more subtle background effect, for example, or you can increase it to light the position further away, or even really shine a strong light on a product or even the backdrop. The main feature of the FL10 is, though, the selection of 20 inserts, which are also known as gobos. Now, these inserts allow you to project a different range of shapes, textures, patterns onto the wall or onto anything that you want, a backdrop, subject or a product. Now, there's a good assortment included, from the patterns that create appearance of light coming through windows or blinds to more abstract shapes and textures that can make plain walls look more interesting. I don't know, if you put a love heart on there or something like that. And installing them is pretty simple as well. It can be a little fiddly, but you place your chosen pattern in the holder and you attach it to the front of the light. You can then just adjust the front barrel to change the size of the appearance of the projected pattern. Now, as far as the barrel is concerned, it's using a simple push and pull. So you can literally just push it and pull it. And basically it allows a projection, to get smaller and more concentrated, or larger and more spread out. And you can also adjust the barrel to help the pattern into focus as well. So if it looks a little bit blurry, it's out, it doesn't look right, you can kind of fine tune it by using the barrel for that as well. Now, the exact position needed obviously will depend on how far the FL10 is from the wall or from the subject you're using it on. It normally only takes a few seconds of adjustment to get the pattern looking sharp, and it's easily to do while you're looking at, directly at the result, because you're not going to be looking at this through a screen. You're literally going to be looking at it on the actual wall or product. In terms of size, the FL10 measures approximately 155 millimeters long and 53.5 millimeters wide, and that is when the barrel is closed. It only adds a slight bit more on when you open up the barrel, maybe a couple of millimeters. It's not a lot at all. Now, it only weighs 416 grams, meaning it's very portable. It feels quite substantial in the hand without being particularly heavy. It's still compact enough as well to can fit into most camera bags, and it can easily be carried around for photography and video work. And I've actually used this for a photo I took. I'm going to put the photo on the screen now. I lit up a windmill, basically the inside of a windmill. I lit it up and then I used a drone to do a circle across the top with a long exposure. But I won't bore you with photography basics and things about that, but this is what I used to light that up, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was obviously late at night as well. Now, the body is made of a combination of ABS plastic and, of course, aluminium alloy. Now, you Americans are going to absolutely hate me because it's not aluminum. Is that what you call it? Aluminium. It's aluminium. That's what it's made of, and it gives you this more solid and a premium feel than I expected. From a light, at this price, you expect probably all to be plastic, but it's not. It's actually really solid and it feels really good in the hand. And the adjustable barrel, it just feels sturdy. It doesn't feel cheap. Even though it is a cheap torch, you know, it is a cheap light, it doesn't feel cheap at all. Now for mounting, the FL10 has 3 standard 1/4 inch threaded screw holes, and that gives you several options for attaching it to a tripod, a light stand, camera rig, magic arm or wall mounted arm, whatever you want to attach it to that's got that 1/4 inch thread. Now having 3 mounting points is especially useful because, you know, effect lights often need to be positioned at unusual angles, so that really helps with that. And you might want it mounted vertically, horizontally, above your subject, low to the ground, and depending on the type of effect you're trying to create, you know, it depends where you're going to mount it and what position. So having those options are really, really useful. Now the built-in battery is rated at 3.7 volts and it's 7,500 milliamp hours. And NEEWER states that the maximum battery life is approximately 180 minutes, which works out at around, what, 3 hours of battery life. That should be enough for most filming sessions, product shoots, or of course portrait sessions as well. Now the charging time is considerably longer at approximately 270 minutes to charge, which is around 4.5 hours for a complete charge, but the good news is the FL10 can continue operating while it's plugged in. Now this means you can leave it connected to a power source if you're using it as permanent part of a YouTube streaming or studio setup. And for me, one of the best uses for this light is adding something otherwise to a plain background like I've got. I know I have some slight little bits in the background, but another light on there is absolutely fantastic. And without an effect light, a wall can sometimes look quite empty and sort of unfinished. And by projecting one of the included patterns onto it, the background immediately looks more deliberate and visually interesting at all. It adds another layer of depth to the shot without requiring a complete redesign of your room or a large lighting setup, and I use a really small room. And you can also use it for product photography, thumbnails, portraits, cinematic B-roll even. Even, you know, if you want to do social media content, you can use it for that. And for example, you could just project a pattern behind a product, use the red or blue setting for a more dramatic portrait, or use the warm white or orange yellow setting to imitate sunlight coming through a window and stuff like that. It's really good. It's a type of light that encourages you to experiment, and I found myself utilizing a lot of the different inserts just to play around, just to have fun and see what I like and what goes well with different colors. Now there is 20 included inserts that give you plenty of different options straight out of the box, and changing between them literally takes a few seconds, so just go ahead and try them all. I have tried them all, and just let the world be your oyster with them. Just literally have fun with them. However, there are 2 main things I would change about the FL10, and one of them is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. Let me just try and get this in focus. Right there. It says NEEWER Basic. To me, that just makes this look and sound cheap. It shouldn't. There's no need for the basic to be there. If the basic wasn't there, it would still be a fantastic product. I mean, the product's great anyway. It's just a little nitpick there. I just think NEEWER Basics. I get the idea behind it. You know, they're trying to promote that they are budget friendly, and it is a budget friendly light. But if I'm turning up to a shoot and it says NEEWER Basics on it, I'm probably going to get some weird looks using a light that's a basic light. Now the light itself feels solid and it looks much more premium than the price might suggest. But I think having the word basics is just, look, it looks cheap. It looks cheaper than it really is. And personally, I think the standard NEEWER logo on its own would have been and looked much cleaner and better. The second issue I have is the included storage bag. Well, I'm going to show you guys. So this is the storage bag, right? Bear in mind, we have a torch. We have the adapter that goes on the torch. We have 20 of the circles, you know, the inserts, the gobos, and then we have a small charging wire, charging cable. How can we fit all of that in here? Please, NEEWER, make this bigger. All I can get in here is the torch. So if I want to use the torch just as a torch, not with any of the inserts, it's fine. Look, I can get just the torch in. There is no way I can fit the gobos in there or the extension in there, or the, you know, the adapter. Cannot fit. It's not possible to fit them in there. So that means now I've got to carry 2 bags, 1 bag for that stuff, 1 bag for this. And if I lose that bag or misplace the bag, lose the cable, lose whatever, I'm stuck. I just want 1 bag if you'd have added an inch or two onto the side of this bag, it would have been perfect. But maybe that's just me being picky as well. You know, I just like everything to be in one place. And just right at the end here, the charging time is also fairly long, around 4.5 hours. Although being able to use a light while it's plugged in is an absolute bonus. And of course, just use it with a portable charger or anything like that. And again, another limitation is the 10-watt output. But for me, that's perfect in a studio environment like this, or a small room environment like this. 10 watts is more than enough. You can get higher wattage ones. I think there's an FL20, and there's an FL12 as well, where you have a mobile app. Hopefully I'll get my hands on them as well. And of course, there are other companies that do similar lights to this. But for the price point, I think this is an absolute fantastic buy. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this light, whether you're looking at buying it or you've got one and you've got any opinions on it. Let me know in the comment. Let's have a discussion about this light. If you do want to purchase a product and you want to help support the channel, hit the link in the description below. That is an affiliate link. But as I said earlier, I don't get paid for doing this video. They literally sent me the product and said, give me an honest review. And this is my honest review. So that is the end of today's video. If you did enjoy the video and you liked the review today, hit the like button and consider that subscribe button, because basically 70% of you are not subscribed to the channel that watch the videos. I'm trying to build up my technology side again. I had it really good before. I'm just trying to build it up and build up the whole channel again, because we've kind of dropped off a little bit because I just basically left it for a while. But guys, if you would consider doing that, that would mean the absolute world to me. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.